Ciao ragazzi, welcome to lesson 5 of Giganti's Italian rapier curriculum. In lesson 4 we saw recovery, closing the line, and up to this point everything we have done has actually been done through a simple gaining action. We basically concentrated on transitions from an inside gain or an outside gain. Okay. This lesson looks at the first of the methods for regaining control of the engagement through the Cavazione. The Cavazione is basically a disengage either under or over the opponent's sword, depending on whether their point is high or low. If the point is high, our Cavazione is done underneath the sword. And the important thing to note here is it's done around the blade, not around the furniture. This big circle consumes way too much tempo for us to actually obey the prime directive. It is a stupid action because we leave a long time for the opponent to hit us in. The first drill to actually learn the Cavazione starts with the presentation of the sword. And the presentation of the sword is done in the four quarters around the hilt, about the width of your palm, away from the opponent's hilt. The important reason for doing that is, as I present near their hand, they will automatically drift across for the game. The important part of this action is we must hit them in the tempo in which they are making their game. This means we should not let them touch our sword. At a proper speed, it would be extend, hitting with the game. Because I have actually presented to Paul's inside, my Cavazione brings me to the outside of his sword, and I must complete by turning my hand into second, always following the rule of turning my true edge towards the opponent's sword. If, on the other hand, I had presented to his outside, I would then come back to the Cavazione with my blade on the inside and the hand in fourth. If the opponent completes the game, it is absolute suicide to actually complete the action. As I present and my opponent makes the game with the sword, my whole fencing time or tempo is now consumed by the Cavazione, giving my opponent time with which to hit me into my preparation. Thus, if they make the contact, I should be retreating in a controlling manner, such that I am out of distance of my opponent's direct lunge. I do not want to be coming forward. As you can see, I am being hit before I even get anywhere close to completing the lunge. The tempos again. The first tempo, we have a tempo to hit if our opponent does not complete their game. Our opponent also has a tempo to hit us if they make the game. They have created a tempo for them to hit us. This is why we are told, especially with the game to the inside, that the Cavazione should be done with a slight lean back to then allow us to come forward. Tempo is the cornerstone of Italian fencing. Once you understand tempo, you understand the fight. Thus ends the lesson.
One.
Okay. The simple Cavazione. From our right guard position, if our opponent gains our sword, okay, we enter this position where we can't really fight to gain back the sword. They actually have full control of our sword. Our response at this point should be the Cavazione, to actually retake control. Now our opponent is in the weaker position to our dominant position, allowing us to hit the safety. This relies on a very, very simple piece of tempo. If our opponent makes the game and does not complete the action of the glide, our Cavazione gives us the time to regain the control to then hit them in safety. If, however, they gain and glide in one action, our response should always be the parry of the game. Even if we have to pull the hand back a little bit to ensure we get forte on foible. 90% of the time, the straight game should be consistent and easy enough to actually make that parry in safety.